I haven't seen you in a while.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Louise. Hi, Carrie.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Garrett. I saw you before you went rogue. Sorry, I keep yawning. It's the Forgotten God's fault. I've been staying.
Must be lunchtime for Catherine.
I have to race like right before we end. I have two things to like on my list. I have to go to the acupuncturist. That's my self-care twice a month, where for 30 minutes I'm in a zero gravity chair and Zen music and all of that. So whether you believe in the needles or don't, it doesn't matter. That's not why I go. It's 30 minutes where it's all about me. And then I have another author from Hawaii. So there's 6 hours difference. So I have to race back, touch up, the online makeup, and get on for an author interview that I'm doing at 3:00. So I'm slamming lunch in front of you, and I very much apologize for my rudeness.
That's all right. It looks pretty good.
I know.
But fried chicken. So, I live in the South, and that's pretty much a staple food.
It's a staple in our house.
It looks delish. Now I feel like going and getting some myself in about 2 hours. That's lunchtime here.
That sounds
there
good.
You go.
Yeah, I remember living in the South. A pone of cornbread and fried chicken was the way.
Well, and brisket is pretty awesome, but
what? Yeah, barbecue. I really liked Memphis barbecue, but
yes,
you just can't go wrong with barbecue. Now I'm hungry. Now I want barbecue. There's a place here called the Notorious PIG that has the best barbecue. It's really good. They have burnt ends that are really good. If you guys like burnt ends.
I love burnt ends.
Well, hey, Daniel, welcome. Good to see you again. Hey, Debbie. Hello everyone. Welcome.
Hi. Debbie, did you get any sleep?
Yeah, actually, I did.
Well, I just noticed that it looks like you and Lila were visiting most of the night, so I just wondered if you got any sleep.
I did.
I guess your night, her day.
Yeah. She was going to bed. So.
She was going to bed.
Lila probably loves having someone keep her company through the day.
I got up at 6 a.m. my time, so yeah. Short night. This cold every day. I'm up by 6 now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get the Rona?
No, I pray not anyway.
Yeah.
But whatever cold y'all have, you zoomed it to me.
Something's going around. It's starting to clear up for us, so hopefully it clears up for you quickly too.
It will. I'm antibioticed up, but I got my hot tea with honey and lemon and
nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, anyone have anything fun going on today?
My plastic is going on my greenhouse today, finally.
That seems exciting.
Yeah, so that's not exciting.
I got you now.
I think
it'll be good to have that on.
So you can make it more functional now?
Yes, it can actually be used.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway.
Oh, Debbie was saying hi to Louise. Anyone else?
I was wondering what that was.
Catherine has interviews. Kim has plastic. Anything else? Andy was just making requests for my next romance novel. For those of you that read my romance, she wants Celeste, who is Tanner's daughter in Leslie's book, Clean Sweep, to hook up with Leslie's son, Nicholas, who is the like lumberjack in the woods.
I have a question about ships in there.
Yeah.
You've given us Mav and Bethany, and we had Benjamin and Sarah. Are we going to get Baxter and Mallory's story?
No, because they're already married, right?
Okay. I just wondered.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I had another Baxter. I forgot.
I gave you.
I noticed.
I tend to use the names on accident between them.
See, so now it doesn't matter if he dies in the Anka book. We already have the backup.
There's another one.
Whew, I actually might. Speaking of death, I might have landed on who's gonna die in War of the Gods, but I don't know if I can do it. So we're looking at it. I'm like, oh, that hurts. And that means I should probably do it.
Ooh.
I know. I don't know if I can swing it. I'm writing 5,000 to 7,000 words a day on the ending of War of the Gods, which is a lot. And I'm doing that while I'm working on the Forgotten Gods audiobook. So my kids requested to go to my daycare lady today because they're going to be doing like sprinklers. So I was like, sure, see ya.
Sounds like fun.
I know. I was like, all right, bye-bye. And so today I'm just like doing writing sprints of 3,000 words, and then I'm recording on the Forgotten Gods and then doing writing sprints and recording. So any of you that had pre-ordered Hazel's audiobook or Water and Light should have gotten your emails delivering those audiobooks yesterday. You got them, Louise? Okay, perfect.
I already listened Water and Light.
Can you repeat those again?
Water and Light and Hazel were both fulfilled yesterday. Did you get those, Garrett?
Yes, I did.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And then Rise of the Demigods is just about to go on Audible. So I forgot the stupid 5-minute sample. So I'm just waiting for Arthur to get me the 5-minute sample. And once we have that, then I can push it so it'll go live on Audible in like a week or two. And then I'm going to try and get the Forgotten Gods up on Audible within the next couple of weeks as well. So they're both available together. It's just taken me a while to get them on the other retailers because they have a lot of really ridiculous process rules and like different things you have to do. And it's just kind of a pain, and BookFunnel doesn't have those. So I've just been putting all my books on BookFunnel. If people want to read them or listen to them, they just buy it from me. So those ones are fulfilled. And then the Secret Novella and the Forgotten Gods. Oh, Secret Novella is done. He sent that back. And then the Forgotten Gods will be done probably tonight. So it will be ready for the launch team on the 24th. And the Secret Novella. So yeah, so we're on the way with audiobooks. And then Short Stories from the Network series will be the next audiobook that will be fulfilled. So if you guys want these audiobooks as soon as I get them back from Arthur, you can pre-order them if they're available. I might need to put Short Stories from the Network series up. But if you pre-order them, then the moment I have them, I send the emails out and set them live. Otherwise, you'll just get a notification in like a week or a couple weeks or a month that it's available. So anyway, so yeah, so those audiobooks just came out. The Forgotten Gods is underway. And I finished the first draft of Regina.
Oh.
Yeah. So I usually do the first draft and then I stop working on it and I just like let it sit in the back of my mind and I think about it because then I have to like clean it up and pull it together in the second draft. So there were a few surprises for me that I wasn't expecting. Like, oh, hey. So I'm pondering over that, but next week I'm going to try and finish the second draft of Regina. So it should actually be done before July, which is really cool. Okay. So it'll be like ahead of time. My goal is I'm going to try and get books done out as far as I can so that I can launch both The Advocate and The Sword Maker before I get into the Isadora and Maximilian stories. So I want them both out because people are already pre-ordering The Sword Maker and asking for it. So I don't want you guys to have to wait since you've started pre-ordering. So we'll see.
So I ordered that and Lita and Regina and sounds like something else.
You know, there's always titles going up for sale.
I've pre-ordered everything that's up so far.
That's awesome.
Okay, I
have to pace myself because this month I don't have work, so I can't pre-order everything at once. I'm like my fingers twitching and my credit card's going like slide me, burn the.
That's awesome. What were you saying, Kim?
I ordered Hazel, which I got yesterday, but I also ordered Fighter, but I didn't get that one.
You didn't get Fighter? Okay. Just email me.
Usually it comes, pretty quick, but I didn't get that one.
Yeah, go ahead and email me, and then after the call, I'll respond. What happened was when I closed the Katie Cross Writing store, and we've merged everything over to Katie Cross Book. When I closed that store, it changed integrations with my email service provider, and I had to go through and manually fix like integrations between apps. And I think I didn't get Fighter fixed as quick. So a few people that bought, like the first few people that bought, I think didn't get it when I realized what was happening. And then I had to go through every single product and change the integrations around. It was ridiculous. So there were just a few people, but it's been working ever since. So I think that was all the problem was. I feel like I'm going to have all this really dumb expertise in my email service provider by the time I die, and I won't be able to use any of these skills for anything but this.
And you use the Active Campaign, right?
I do, yeah.
I do too. And it's a learning curve.
Yeah, I've been using them for years, and then I left, and then I came back, and I love them. But, you know, like their deep integrations are phenomenal, but then when things go awry, they, you know, so there's just like stuff to fix. So anyway, yeah, they're great. Were you saying something, Daniel? I just want to make sure.
I just laughed.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted. When does Protect Me officially launch?
It launched Tuesday.
I mean, it's actually out.
Yeah. Well, like you can buy it from my store. Yeah.
Okay, because I was waiting to do my review, my Goodreads review.
Oh, yeah, go for it. No, you're totally good.
People can get it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, because I can't get it. I can't do it on your site. So.
Oh, yeah. So you technically can right now because it doesn't launch on Amazon until next week. So it's not in Kindle Unlimited yet. So I have it like available and it's still up on the store. So I just launched it early so that I could have a sell time before it went into Kindle Unlimited, and I need to take it down. I mean, if people ask me for it, I'm going to send them the link, but it won't be like just available on the website because of the Kindle Unlimited program. So yeah, it's available there. And then I confirmed with Amazon that they will let me launch it early. So Amazon's really funny. If you set a book up for pre-order, it's like a locked contract almost, and they like get all huffy if you need to move the date, which I can kind of understand because readers might get frustrated if an author just keeps pushing a date back. But even to move it forward, like even to like launch it sooner, they're like, well, you can only do this once before you're penalized. And they kind of like have this whole intense spiel that they go through. And it's like, I'm trying to give your readers products faster. Like you'd think you'd be excited about this, but whatever. They huffed at me and I wrote back nicely, and now it's all set and it has been changed. So it will launch next Wednesday, the 15th. Amazon, you guys, they're so huffy. Gosh, calm down. Anyway.
I think Carrie was trying to get bribes the other day on our little witchery. She
didn't answer me about her favorite wine.
She's innocence there.
Carrie.
I asked her what her favorite wine was. She didn't answer me.
Oh, favorite line from the Forgotten Gods?
No, her favorite wine.
Oh, wine.
I was so confused when I read that.
Is this in the messenger chat you guys have?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I told them I couldn't because I signed a contract with you about confidentiality, and you know,
there's no NDA.
He was talking about the secret novella.
It is such a big secret.
I make up stories about why I can't share, you know, but maybe they, I don't know.
I love it, Carrie. Hold strong, my friends. They think
we just haven't got the right bribe yet, apparently, Carrie.
That's true.
You could do what I did when I spoiled Derek in the chat and just say something completely irrelevant, like I said about how Derek went on some killing spree of the Northern Network because Derek accidentally killed Bianca, so Derek decided that he had to kill everyone in the Northern Network. You could do something like that. Unless that's actually the plot of the secret novella, in which case don't do that.
No, that's been legendary. Everyone has been talking about your spoilers in almost every Coffee with Katie sentence.
Really?
They loved that. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, you should make up a spoiler for the secret novella. That would be funny.
All right, I'll think on that.
Yeah.
Unless it's too far crazy, we might believe it.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true. I am, let's see, there's 263 Google Doc pages in the Forgotten Gods, and I am at like 205 for narrating. So we're almost done with the Forgotten Gods audiobook. And Carrie, no matter how hard we work, man, there's nothing like reading out loud to realize what a bad writer you are.
You're not a bad writer. You're an awesome writer.
No, not a bad writer. But we talk about this all the time. Authors tend to use the same word really close together. So you might say beautiful twice in the same paragraph, but you don't realize it because your mind's not looking for it. Or you might end a sentence the same way and it's all in the same paragraph, right? So you're reading it and it stands out like a sore thumb, but when you're editing and you're writing it, you just don't see it for some reason. You just think your mind works differently. And I'm constantly fighting this, like constantly. And that's why I have like Carrie and beta readers. And I even have a list of words that I know I use a lot. And I go through a manuscript and I look for those words and I cut them down. Like we work really hard at this. And I still, like, I think every page I find a paragraph where I have the same word right next to each other, the same phrase right next to each other, even sentences right next to each other. And I'm like,
we've missed them, huh? Even us. All of us have missed them.
That's what I mean. I think with editing, even like you're just in a different mindset, even though you're looking for it, because you found a ton, like in edits, Carrie, like you found a ton. So I don't know how many there were before you. Like it's just amazing. Like reading it out loud, you hear yourself say the words, and then I'll be like, wait, I think I just said that, and I'll look back, and sure enough, there's the word, which is great because I'm cleaning and changing the manuscript like as I go. I also recorded this really fun video where I do like a narrate along. So as I was narrating in the Forgotten Gods, I just did a Zoom, like a video, and I just recorded it on Zoom. And I just show you guys how I narrate, and I'm like acting and I'm like doing all the stuff and like changing the voices and practicing and messing up and like redoing it and like all this ones. It was actually ended up being really fun. It was like 45 minutes long though. So I thought about releasing it so you guys could watch, but it has some of the Forgotten Gods in it. So I didn't want to spoil anything. So I might release it like in the end of July or something after most of you have read the Forgotten Gods.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it was actually surprisingly fun.
My favorite words that you wrote ever are something like "it was hot as beans," and
it was hot beans under her skin. You're like, what are hot beans under the skin? Like hot jumping beans. Like beans jump around when they're hot and they're dry. And she was like,
the one that I find that you use the most often is when you're talking about like 3 times it's like 4 times in 2 pages. I was like, Katie.
It's my thing. And again, we edit for that. I know that I do it.
Are flaring.
I know that I do it. So we take paint. Sorry, we had a skunk here today, so I have to go outside with my dogs because I am not. I am
looking for more bears.
Oh my God!
Seriously?
Yeah, my dog got squirted right in the face last year, like from his forehead down his nose through his cheek. And that oil does not come off their face.
It doesn't come off. It's the word. I have tried everything.
No, it does. I have the stuff and I have it in, it's Dawn soap, hydrogen peroxide, a little bit of water and baking soda. And it is the miracle worker, but you can't put that on their face that easily because it gets into their eyes. Yeah. So I was like scrubbing it off his face. Bridget, come on.
I had a dog that got skunked like 4 times in a row. Like every morning he'd get skunked and I would drag him, giant dog, where they put the feet out like, no, I'm not going to have a bath as you're trying to go through the bathroom door. And it's 4:30 in the morning. And my husband's like, no, you cannot put that dog in the shower with me. Like, I gotta go mix up stuff.
Yeah, it's so bad. That same skunk, I think, ended up spraying our house one morning.
That was the one that did ours. Yeah.
Like it just sprayed our stone. I was I was literally scrubbing stone because it just kept, every time we opened the door, it just wafted into our house. Oh, so frustrating. So I've been all paranoid all day. Anyway.
So here's a skunk story. So that skunk, when I brought the dog in, that 4:30 in the morning experience, I'm now in my office. I'm working. It's 4:30 in the morning, and I hear this thunk, thunk, thunk. Well, it turns out as I drug the dog in and I left the screen door to the slider closed, but I didn't close the slider. This is in Redondo Beach, California. was hitting the door. It came upstairs. They said, oh no, skunks don't climb stairs. Yes, they do. And it was spraying into my bedroom over and over and over and over and over again. Now you could smell this 4 miles. And I spent about $2,000 trying to get clothes dry cleaned like 3 times, but I had to get on a plane to go speak at a conference with the deputy director of the Department of Defense the very next day in Washington, D.C. And I have this suit that was in a dry cleaning package. And that's the only, I'm like, how bad is this? So I pack it away. I get off the plane. I get to the Marriott and I'm like, I need a dry cleaner. As I unpack my clothes, I'm like, this is not going to work. And she's like, oh, well, we can overnight. I'm like, no, I have to have these clothes on tomorrow morning at this event. And so thankfully the concierge called around, and the down the road, if you get on the metro in the DC, right, the Ritz-Carlton was willing to try and clean this suit for me. So I'm sitting in their bar drinking tea for a couple of hours, and the guy comes back. He says, we've dry cleaned it twice. It's the best that we can do. Now you have to know that when I was on the metro going 2 stops down, right, in Crystal City to get there, I had the suit in a bag, and like the homeless people that were on the train were moving away from me because it smelled so bad. And I'm like, they did a good job, but there's not much they could do. So I get dressed. And I'm eating breakfast with this table with a group of guys, and they're like, it's no problem. It's no problem. And every time a woman would come to say, oh, could we sit here? And they'd stop and they'd go, and they're like, oh no, I have to go see, Marianne. They would walk away and leave. But it was the talk of our block for months. They're like, oh, that was your house. I'm like, yeah, that was my house. It took months to get the smell back out. It was that bad. I mean, it was like, this was the skunk story from hell that I cleaned everything. I had to have the carpets shampooed multiple times. I had to take my bedding, and I mean, it was everything. It permeated the whole house.
So why didn't you get new stuff?
Yeah.
How do you buy? Okay, I worked at a defense contractor, and I wore like suits, like, I had to wear designer-like suits, and it would have cost me thousands of dollars to replace them. I mean, thousands. You do what you can do. I bought charcoal at the pet store for aquariums, and I put it in tube socks, and I had it in everybody's shoes. And I mean, like, so there's things you can try to do to remove this. I had charcoal in suitcases forever. So it's a thing. You can use charcoal and it'll help absorb the smells, and then you can throw it back in the oven and it'll reactivate it, and then you throw it back into your stuff. So hint, charcoal for fish tanks. You can buy big old packages of it at the pet store.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, things you learn when you get exposed to skunks. And it turned out I had to trap it. I literally had to trap it and pay for trapping it myself because animal control would not come.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, thank you very much. This is not what I pay my taxes for.
Yeah, we'll if skunks become an issue here, we'll take care of it.
Yeah. Now I'm just saying, it's a thing. It could be and bless him, my little baby bear, that was his name. He just could not understand why that cute little cat-like thing did not want to play with him. And he'd come running back to the house like, oh my God, Mom, it was mean to me.
Well, and they honestly, when they there's that perfumey smell that everyone recognizes with a skunk, but right when they spray and the actual like oil, it smells like death. Like that perfumey stuff comes later. The death smell comes first, and then the perfume comes later. It's awful. My neighbor apparently had a skunk walk into his house, like through the open door, and they have big dogs. And I guess the skunk was just walking around his house when he like walked out of his bedroom. And I was like, I would have peed my pants. Like I like straight up lost it. Like if a skunk were just walking around my carpet, I'd be like, I'm out. We're just gonna go live in the bedroom till the skunk leaves. Like we're not gonna make it angry.
Is there a window that I can climb out of? Because we're not going the other way.
Yeah. So that's what they had to do. Luckily their dogs were in the bedroom. They shut them in there, and then they just like hung out in their room for like 2 hours while the skunk just like wandered the house.
Oh my word.
It didn't spray like it did for you though. That's oh, Louise, you're lucky. Ugh. I don't know how to describe a skunk smell between perfumey death. Like it's just terrible, and it lingers forever. It's awful.
And it will wake you up out of a dead sleep.
Yep.
It will. Yeah. Like when that skunk sprayed our house at 4 a.m. I don't know what it is, about 4:30 in the morning. I woke up because I smelled it. And I was like, oh no. I was like in a panic because I thought one of the dogs got in a skunk and then came in our bedroom and we were have to burn everything down. But luckily it sprayed the wall. So anyway, anyone else have a great skunk story?
Yeah, there you go.
I have to tell you what happened. I worked at Browning. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Browning guns.
Oh.
I worked for them, and the department I was in, we ordered the products like clothing, boots, all that kind of stuff, accessory type stuff. Anyway, so my boss was trying out these sample scents for archery hunters. Well, unbeknownst to me, he decided that he didn't want it in his office, and I was right outside his office. He dropped it in my garbage can. Well, when he dropped it, it broke.
Oh no.
My God.
Was it like the urine smells? Like fox
it wasn't
urine?
It was, I'm trying to think of what the smell was. It was, oh my gosh, it was almost like skunk. It was so bad. He comes out and he said, what's that smell? I was like, what did you throw in my garbage? It was like, oh, we had to take it out, throw the whole can away. The office smelled oh my gosh, it was horrible.
Oh, that sucks. We used fox urine pellets. They have pellets that smell like fox urine, and fox are natural predators for skunks because we had a skunk living under our deck. So we just spread the fox urine pellets and it went away. So that was nice. We didn't have to do Wild West justice.
I have to go, guys. We are going to go to the historical downtown today for lunch. We'll see how it goes. I'll try to take pictures and just think about my story. Read my email.
I will. I promise I will think about Celeste and Nicholas.
To all of you, it was so lovely to see you. Carrie, I've missed you. I will write. I promise. I've just been having to take my dad to the doctors. And hopefully next week is like our last round of doctors for about, I hope, months. And so have a great weekend, y'all.
Bye. You too, Anne.
Good to everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, thanks for coming in. Louise, I just read your message. I think that's pretty bad. I think that's up there with skunks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You got to wash the walls?
Yeah, so the litter box in the bedroom that I have, because he sleeps in my room, is like by the door, but the door's closed at night. And my cat, he's very clever. He knows how to use the litter box, but when you've got diarrhea and you're a cat, it's not easy to.
No.
So I had the walls were a bit brown. His legs were a bit brown. The floor wasn't noticeable, but it smelled a bit. And it happened a couple of times when I first had some kind of cat flu. Then it happened again a couple of months ago as well, and he hates it when I bath him, but I had to like properly bath him because his fur was like, he's normally got such white legs, I call it his white trousers, but they were definitely brown and whole little thing, he couldn't help it. It wasn't his fault.
Oh, poor baby.
He tried his best.
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I have that with my kids all the time, more than I want to say.
Yeah,
Like
it's
vomit.
probably worse for kids because
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if it's worse or not. Like, I feel like animals aren't contained by diapers or pants, you know? So it really does get everywhere. But at least with kids, it's do laundry.
With a cat, it's like small quantities, I meant, if that they do get stomach issues. So easier to clean.
I had a cat named Psycho.
Not fun.
And one named Calvin. Well, we thought Psycho was a male, and it was truly a psycho cat, so we named it Psycho. And then we found out that, in fact, it was a girl. But she had been Psycho for so long, we just kept her as Psycho. I thought about calling her Psychette, but I really liked Psycho. So that was my last cat experience with Psycho. Anyway. I had another question for you guys, but it just slipped my mind. Sorry.
My grandpa raised a litter of skunks when he was young, and he never ever got sprayed. I have pictures of him walking through the yard, and they're following him in a straight line, just little baby skunks. And he raised them completely, and they never sprayed him once.
Well, your great grandparents were more tolerant than me, because I would be like, no. I've pet a baby skunk that was de-skunked, like that the sack was taken out.
Yeah.
They're super cute when they're not.
They're very cute. I used to have a friend who, we would go to the park in the Memphis area, and they had a pet skunk that had been desacked, and they walked it with a little harness, like it was something between a little cat and a little dog. And they're cute, and they waddle along. But no, not in nature. They, as cute as they are, it's like, please stay away. Please stay away. Please.
Wild skunks are mean. Wild skunks.
We had a family friend that had a pet skunk. Daisy was her name. But she would still, even though she didn't have her sack, she would still kind of turn her butt to you, like she would try to spray. Yeah.
She's like, I'm getting ready, even if
So it still kind of made you cautious, like, ooh, there.
They can bite too. They have rabies really bad.
Well, they have really long claws.
I actually found a skunk skull a couple of weeks ago on a hike. It was so cool. I've never seen an intact skunk skull with the front teeth and everything. It was really cool. I'll have to show you guys a picture because I was super excited about it. I was like, oh my gosh, what kind of a nerd gets this excited about it?
But as a writer, you never know when having that imagery in your head will give you something for a scene. So yeah.
I was just excited at the find because most of the bones that I find are just like elk legs or femurs, or you know what I mean? Like their ribs are not really that exciting, but an intact skull with the teeth of a small rodent is harder to find. So I was excited about that. I have yet to find a mountain lion. Well, maybe I have and I just didn't know, but I want to find a mountain lion. That'd be cool. Or a bear, but I just always see deer and stuff. So anyway, we
did have some exciting stuff this week since we're talking about animals. A beaver came out of our little ditch out in our yard and decided to take 5 of our little trees out.
I was going to say, did he take himself a present?
Yes, he did. We were fertilizing the trees, and I was like, oh my gosh, Charles, come and look at this tree. It had taken its teeth and just took about a 4-inch gap, clear down a big tree. I guess it decided it couldn't take that. Anyway, so we had some smaller trees that were kind of starts, and it had taken 5 of them. Just right off. It took the trees because they weren't anywhere in the ditch. So it somehow got them out of the ditch into wherever it was making its little dam. But yeah,
I didn't see this. I'm trying to find the actual picture, but my husband said he found a picture on Meat Eater. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Meat Eater, but he was just scrolling through Instagram, and Meat Eater put a picture of that someone had sent in, and it was a beaver as they were chewing a tree. They like chewed at such an angle that the tree shifted onto its head, and it was just stuck there. Like it crushed the skull instantly, but the tree didn't fall. The tree was still upright. It just kind of shifted onto the beaver's head.
Wow.
And the beaver was like stuck underneath it. I was like, oh, that's job hazards.
Yeah.
They're hard little buggers to get rid of. Like They're so destructive.
We had,
evidently there's no beaver OSHA.
Yeah.
Really?
They go, we have a ditch that goes from, through our whole property, and then it goes probably 2 miles past our property. And last year there was 14 beaver dams in just, so what would that be? Maybe 2.5, 3 mile ditch area. Yeah. 14 beaver dams we had to take out because it was flooding the ditch.
Yeah. They can be a big problem.
They're
mean.
great little boogers. They're not little, I guess. They're not that little, but
I think most of nature is mean, honestly. I don't know if you guys are in any natural area like I am, but it's mean. Like the first that I heard, but probably wasn't the first this year, lady got gored by a bison in Yellowstone because she went up to pet it. I mean, we're always
they just never turn there, do they?
Like you never learn. That headline always happens. And then a trail runner was running on a trail. I think it was in Colorado, and a mama moose came out of nowhere, trampled her. Yeah, but she was able to get away, and she called CPW, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and just said, "Hey, I think it's a mom." So they closed the trail for 2 weeks, so no one would disturb the mom and baby. But I was like, yeah, no, nature ain't nice. You don't want to you don't want to do that.
We're the ones that have
an
invaded
alligator in somebody's yard recently, and she's evidently newer to the area, and she had the kind of the wrought iron fencing that a lot of people have, and she's just freaking out because this gator was walking around the perimeter of her yard, and everybody said, just open the gate, just open the gate. She's evidently probably too frightened really just to go out and open her gate. So the gator pulls the bars wide enough and scooches himself through to get out of her yard because she didn't open the gate. And the thing is, I mean, you see them, they're here. We have retention ponds out behind the house between our set of homes and the next ones over. And I mean, there's alligators here.
Are you in Florida?
I'm in South Carolina.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So we have a lot, maybe not to the same way that you'll see them in Florida, but we have quite a few. And, every pond, the kids name the gator. So it doesn't matter if it's never the same gator, but the one behind us is Boots and the one at the front gate is Wally. I mean, it's hilarious that, and there was one that had been in one of the streets of the community, and they had named it Fred. It had literally been there for maybe 20 years. And there was a hue and a cry because a truck, and it doesn't matter what the company was, but the driver intentionally hit this alligator that had been there for years, and everybody watched it walk across going this way and walk back going that way. And so yeah, we have lots of wildlife. We have lots of deer and foxes and a few coyotes and gators and birds, lots of birds. Awesome birds.
I don't know that I'd like a gator. I don't know if you know what a badger is.
Yep.
They're mean little buggers. We had one last fall in our barn, and that was kind of scary.
What was it?
Most of the time, alligators will leave you alone. I mean, now if you had a little puffy dog and you walk it like right next to the alligator is going to try and say, well, that's an opportunistic lunch, right? But for the most part, they just do their own thing and you can pretty much ignore them. But there's some really big ones here. I mean, they're 8-10 feet and bigger, and they'll walk down the road, and that's, if you're a mom and your kids are going to be at the bus stop at 7:30 and it's still dark because of the time change, then, it's best to make sure there's a parent and not just send your kids out to the bus stop.
That's crazy.
An adult. But it's a thing, right? You think you just, if you live here and you've chosen to live here, there's big signs that say, hey, there's this stuff. So if you didn't want that, you probably shouldn't have chosen this area.
Gators, man, and badgers. I wouldn't like either of those.
Yeah, it was. Well, I went out because the dogs were barking, and I'm like that. They're like barking because something's out there, So I went out and I could see these. I got the flashlight and I could see these eyes. And at first I thought it was a cat, and I'm like, oh crap, because my dogs don't like cats. So I was like, oh, kitty, you can't be here. That's not a good place to be. So I come in to get a bigger flashlight, and when I get out there, I'm like, those eyes aren't cat eyes. And when I turned got the flashlight under there, I was like, oh my gosh, I can run back in. I had family here, and they said, what's the matter? And I said, there's a badger out in the barn. And Charles, it was late. It was like midnight. So he'd already gone to bed. I was like, I'm just going to leave it there. So I brought the dogs in, and by morning it was gone. But yeah, it was.
Do you have chickens or anything like that?
We do. Yeah.
Did it get any chickens?
No, we have a pretty good chicken run around, but badgers can dig holes. So I mean, they could have got, got in there if they wanted, but we usually lock them. We lock them in the coop at night. So.
Oh, okay. I was like, you must have Fort Knox if that badger didn't get a chicken.
Oh, when Charles built this, if you guys have ever watched Tremors,
yes.
I sent a picture when Charles built the chicken run. I said, Bert Gummer has nothing on your dad. Because it was like Fort Knox for those chickens.
Lila would appreciate that. I really want to get chickens. I just don't want to bring the bears in. So I haven't decided.
Oh, yeah. We have weasels that have tried to get in with them. Luckily enough, knock on wood, they haven't accomplished that because weasels really don't eat them. They just kill them.
We have foxes too. Foxes and skunks and bears and cats, little big kitties. So I haven't committed yet, but we'll see one day.
That's the worst predator I have in my area.
Oh, what a predator.
He actually brought in a bird the other week. So he's...
Oh, you mentioned that.
Genuinely, yeah. He's become a predator.
What animals do you guys have in Wales, Louise? Do you have?
In terms of wild animals, I mean, it depends where you are. Like in this area, we don't really have many because we're not built up. We've got like houses, but we have like a lot of greenery. So we've got like a few of the neighbours have dogs, but they've grown up around cats all their lives. And then you've just got loads of stray cats in the area, and that's about it for the most part. You get like seagulls trying to fly about sometimes. You get loads of other birds, so we often throw bits of bread up onto the roof of the sheds for them. And yeah, we don't get anything massive. Like I've seen people talk about how online about how it's always dangerous to let cats out because of things like skunks and coyotes and other stuff. It's like, but they're not a thing over here, so people over here don't tend to worry about that sort of thing. So yeah, cats like the alpha predators.
The cats are the predators. Yeah,
everybody, it's been awesome to see you, and I have to run.
Good luck on your busy.
Yeah,
good luck with your busy day.
You got this. Look for gators.
Yeah, I will, but safe. Not too much because I'm just,
What do you think? Just be friends with them, Catherine.
That's it. That's
Good luck. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like living in the mountains, I'm always living somewhere that's constantly trying to kick me back out. Like, I mean, you just start to get a complex. Like, nature hates me. It just wants me out of here.
When we first moved here, we had moose that would come down into our barn. But then I think, the more we got, well, we don't have close neighbors, but the more we got neighbors that were really, kind of closer, then the moose, we haven't seen them. We had one a few years ago in the winter that came down, but we haven't had them in the barn like we used to. Maybe my dogs help too, or they don't come after them, but they can be mean.
I would rather bears than moose, frankly.
Yeah, moose can, they can pump the crap out of you.
They're so tall and they're so mean and they're so blind. I would take a brown or a black bear all day over a moose. Like, bring them to the yard, but you keep the moose away from me. I don't want to see them.
Moose is my mother's favorite animal.
Has she ever been close to one? Does she know what they are? They are awful.
She loves them.
Oh, wow.
They're okay to look at from a safe distance, but man, those suckers are scary when you're face to face with them, and they're dark, so they camouflage well at night, and in the morning when they're up, they are not my favorite animal. And I have like a soap box on this that I will not climb on.
You live in your own adventura there, though. So
I grew up in Idaho, right? So I was like in a city. Well, I mean, Idaho doesn't have a lot of big cities, but I was in my grandma's. Like, Kim, did you ever see my grandma's house like before she died?
I don't think so.
She was sort of on the edge of town. It's like super developed now, but it was kind of the edge of town. There's a lot of fields, and then it kind of led up to mountains. And I was like just playing in her front yard. I was like 8 years old, maybe even that. And I was going to go across the road to hide in her neighbor's backyard. And like some intuition stopped me, and I just decided not to, which gave me a front row picture of the giant moose that ran out of the exact spot I would have been standing if I had gone there like 30 seconds before, and just like runs out toward us. We're just a bunch of kids like playing hide and go seek. There was a moose outside my kindergarten classroom. There were mooses that walked through my grandma's backyard. There were mooses that would stroll around town. And then like we'd go to Utah, and we'd go in the mountains where my uncle was, and we'd go four-wheeling. There'd be mooses there just wandering around, or we'd go camping, and they'd be like, they were everywhere. And they always scared me because you never expect them, and they just pop up, and they're huge and dark. So I hate them.
Well, and they're not, I mean, they don't,
Mean.
it's not a matter of you leave them alone. They'll come after you.
No, like if you can see them, you better get out of there.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what it is. And when you surprise them, goodbye. Like,
Yeah. And especially if they've got babies, boy, look
those
out.
muscles. So people are always saying mama bear. I'm like, mama bears aren't as scary as mama moose. Like, it's mama moose you gotta be afraid of.
Yeah,
That
right.
doesn't have quite the right ring.
Yeah.
Mama bear. Anyway, that's living in the mountains for you. I always think like about Bianca running in the forest. Like when I'm hiking by myself, and I always think about how much Bianca runs through the forest. I'm like, man, like it's unnerving enough when I'm like trying to find the mountain lions that are probably stalking me. But like, can you imagine living in a place with like trolls?
Oh gosh.
Or like all the predators that live in Leadham Wood? I'm always like, man, how I need to make her a little more paranoid or something. But
The
then
bluest?
But the woods,
I was going to say,
the
Baloo.
woods helped keep her safe.
yeah, so she has that, but also she can transport. So it's like a totally different game when you can just remove yourself from any situation, you know? So
Forest lions.
Wow.
forest lion.
That thing's that. I was going to say the beginning of the Lost Magic comes into mind then when you mentioned about how she can transport, because I don't want to spoil it in case anyone doesn't know what I mean. I think we all do. When she's having to walk through the woods.
Oh yeah, Danielle hasn't.
Oh,
Yeah. That's why I'm just trying to say when she has to walk.
Yep.
I'm trying not to spoil it.
You're good.
She has to walk through the woods
Yep.
for a bit,
Uh-huh.
and
My heart was pounding just writing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about the woods, it reminds we do have dragons here, as you can see by the flag.
But you have dragons.
We have
there?
dragons in Wales.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I've heard of
At least that flag does.
well, because it's the land of fire, right? Weren't you saying that? Like there's all the coal and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think it's something like there's parts of Spain and parts of Canada that have very similar coal, because it was all built on the land is all on top of like this bit of geological stuff that's like I don't know, it's like some special type of coal that's better than anywhere else in the world, and it's in certain places, and Wales it just happens to be one of those few places it's in.
Oh.
So
you guys are special because you're coal. You give a really great coal.
There are other places you can get just as good coal that are also part of that specialty. I don't really understand it because I haven't really researched it, but it's that's kind of why Wales became famous for coal, because it was like it burns better than if you're not in that certain part of the world. And it's like it's not like a circle, it's like a long strip, so it's bits of America, bits of Canada, bits of Spain or whatever, that are all on this part.
Okay. My ancestors came over to the States from Wales, like sometime I think in like the 1800s or something. And my grandma went back to Wales. I think some of them might have worked in coal mines. I can't remember for sure. I know that I had some ancestors working in the textile factories in Lancashire, England. But my grandma's this like tiny itty bitty, well, she was when she was alive. She had osteoporosis so bad that her spine actually shrank together. So she lost like 6 to 8 inches of height. Like she literally just kept shrinking. But she like went to Wales before she died, and she was like, I found my people, because she said there were so many like short people there. So she's like, this is where I get it, because her parents and grandparents, I think, were from Wales or something. So I always think of that whenever anyone mentions Wales, that my grandma was like so excited she found her people. I don't know that that's true, that like Welsh are shorter than anyone else, but the people that my grandma met there were, and so she was just really excited.
Louise, we have coal in Wyoming. In fact, in our county, south of our southern part of our county, we have coal mines.
Yeah, I think it's like the big one that Wales is part of is like the South Atlantic Fault, or the Great Atlantic Fault, or something like that.
Interesting.
So, yeah, which is pretty cool, because if that's like why it's so good, I mean, that's probably, it could be related to the same ones that you want out in Wyoming, which would be an amazing fun fact.
Yeah.
So cool that it like spans such distances. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. All right, my friends. Well, I actually have a call after this. If you don't mind, I might close this a bit early so I can run grab some lunch and go to this next call. But it was so good to see you all. It's fun for all the random conversations we fall into.
We do have some different ones.
It's so great though. It's so nice.
People are going to tune into this one and they'll be like, wait, I thought we were talking about books. No,
we were talking about coal in Wales, the prevalence of predators.
Alligator.
Is Wyoming near Pennsylvania, by the way? Sorry.
Nope, we are actually quite a ways away. That's why it's kind of weird that we have coal here. But
yeah, if Pennsylvania is the place that's on the same type of coal.
That's
sorry to add that in at the end. I just looked it up.
That's where you're from, Carrie?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from
Pennsylvania is a lot closer to Wales than Wyoming. Wyoming is like Intermountain West of the US, so much closer to the West Coast, and doesn't really make a lot of geologic sense, I guess.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
But that's Wyoming for y'all.
Yeah, that's true.
That is Wyoming. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, everyone, and we'll see you, some of you guys, on Monday or next week.
Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.